one of the things that's really necessary is to be flexible and be flexible. What a couple of days we've had.
It seems like a week.
Well, we ended up in Kansas City, and we were in a state park campground.
Sounded beautiful, right?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was like a park in the Midwest, all shaven down, mowed, manicured. Green, I'll give it that.
But it was on some water and some lakes and so on, but you couldn't get to it because the grass was too high and there were no paths and so on.
Very dense.
So anyway, that aside, I had a problem with the steering wheel, and
Let's back up just a little bit. We're in this beautiful park, and Richard's back up on the roof of the RV. Now he's got a motor, and he's going to try to fix the back air conditioning again.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was all day. We were dying in the heat. That's how we spent that day.
Yeah. Well, I finally was able to get a motor sent to me for the air conditioner, and it was the right size motor in terms of horsepower and so on, but it was the wrong size physically, and it wouldn't fit. So I had to send it back, and I'm trying to get another one. I ordered one from another place, and they had 5 in stock, and they said I'd have it in 3 days, so I sent it ahead of us. And we were in Kansas City, and in Wichita is the headquarters of the Carrier XL air conditioner on the roof. I called them, figuring they were an hour away, and they said 8 to 10 weeks.
Long story cut short, if anybody has any pull on how to get an air conditioner fixed on one of these Tiffin motor coaches, I'd love to know about it, because I'm really getting tired of spending our hangout days on top of the roof.
Yeah. Anyway, I got the motor out, and the bracket was all rusted and rotted, and so anyway. So I've ordered a new one. It was supposed to come the next morning. I got an email saying, we're out of stock, we're on back order. I called them up. I said, what's the story? And they said, our inventory was off. So I had to cancel that order. Now I found another one in Texas, and that's going to be shipped, and hopefully I'll get that. But anyway, the other thing that happened is I have a tilt steering wheel, and the steering wheel tilts up so I can get in and out of the driver's seat easily. And it got stuck in the up position. Well, Houston, we got a problem.
Huh?
We got a problem here with my tilt steering wheel. This steering wheel is supposed to tilt down. There's a pedal down here on the floor. I hit the pedal, and it's supposed to tilt down, and not working. So we got to go see what we can do about it. On the road, all part of the adventure. And
Should have seen Richard sitting up there driving it like this.
I look like Ralph Grandin driving the city bus.
Yep, you sure did.
With an upright steering wheel. And that was okay for a couple of days. We stopped at 2 or 3 Freightliner places, and they said, oh, it's 4 days, 4 hours, 6 hours, 10 days, and we just couldn't get in. So we just kept moving on. I took the steering column apart, and what I found was a piece of plastic had broken off, which holds a wire that goes from the foot pedal down on the floor, and you hit the foot pedal, it pulls the wire, and the thing tilts down. Well, this little piece of plastic broke off. So I called Freightliner, a couple of places. They said, you got to bring it in, and we'll put you in line, and it might be 3 or 4 days. So I called Freightliner National, and he said, you can't replace that part. You have to replace the whole steering column. I said, wow, how much is that? Well, it'll be about $1,500 for this little plastic piece. Well, I didn't quite believe that. So I called the Freightliner in Kansas City, and the guy says, we're open 24 hours. If you bring it in, we can handle it overnight. So I said, okay, we can leave it overnight, and we'll stay at a hotel.
That sounded great at this point.
So I made a reservation at a hotel, which was right down the Hampton Inn, which is right down the street from the Freightliner place. And we left the park that we were in a day early, And we went to the Freightliner place, talking to the service agent and getting signed in and so on. He says, you know, let me have one of my techs look at it. So this young tech came out with me and came to the coach, and he looked at it. And he said, yeah, you got to replace the whole steering column, but I think I might be able to fix it. He said, let me try. Do you have a zip tie? And I said, yep. And he put a zip tie in, and we zip tied it, and it's working. So now,
$1,000 to a zip tie. Can you
yeah.
imagine?
So there was no charge. They worked on it maybe a half hour. There was no charge, which was great. But now we left the campground 25 miles away. We got a hotel reservation, so we drive to the hotel, and I figured, you know, we'll park the coach in the hotel parking lot, and we'll stay in the hotel.
But then we stopped and we thought, wait a minute, we need electric to run the refrigerator or lose all of our food.
So I said, well, there was a RV park right next to the hotel, a very fancy one that was part of an amusement place, like a Disney World kind of place. And so I called them. They had a space. We went in, parked the coach,
plugged it in,
and left, and went to dinner.
Yes.
And we went to Joe's Barbecue, famous Oklahoma Joe's Barbecue in Kansas City, which is world renowned. Yeah, where?
Joe's City Barbecue. This has a long history. It's one of their first restaurants in Kansas at an old gas station. And Richard's been looking for this. Actually drove almost 20 minutes to get here after a long day.
Kansas City, Kansas, where we are. And we got there. It was in an old gas station. It was pretty cool. We had to wait in line. We had to wait in line, maybe 45 minutes or so. Got in, had a full slab of ribs. You had?
I had chicken gumbo.
Chicken gumbo.
I'm a little barbecued out.
Which is true. And she had 2 Tito blackberry lemonades.
You know, I wanted to try it. It was so funny. The first one went down so well, and it was like I had it halfway down. I thought, geez, what am I going to do for a drink? All of a sudden, Richard comes up behind me, and he goes, guess what? They made a mistake. They gave you another one. And he goes, you're going to be feeling really good.
And she was.
I just got real talkative.
So after Joe's, we did go back to the hotel, and we checked in and got a nice hot shower, run the water as long as you want.
Got to do our laundry there.
Yeah. And so we had a good night.
Found out that they had this awesome water pick. It's to die for, shower
Water pick shower head.
Now, you know what kind of days a girl has had when the highlight of her whole few days is that water pick shower with all the pressure and the hot water it could get. I loved it. It was great.
So we were supposed to stay in Kansas City one more day and decided to move on and go further north through Iowa, and all of a sudden the smoke came.
We're talking smoke outdoors. We're not talking smoke on the RV, because at this point they might think it's smoke on the RV.
No, it was smoke outdoors from the fires that are in Oregon and Washington and blowing down, and there were air quality warnings and so on. And we checked into the Big Sioux campground recreation area where we're at. We're going to be here 3 or 4 days.
And we're along the Missouri River, is it?
Yeah. And we have a little tributary here, and Virginia's going to do some painting over the next couple of days.
I'm certainly going to try to get a spot there, but so far it's like we got a lot of vegetation.
So after these 4 days, we'll give you a report on anything exciting that happens here.
No, exciting would be no more fix or repair dailies.
Hope so.
I hope so too.
Okay.
Are we done?
We're done.
Good.